Analogue is a company that specialises in producing retro reproduction consoles. But when I say that, I've got to be careful about how I describe that, because these aren't knockoffs of the little mini Super Nintendo or Megadrive consoles you can get. Instead, they're using FPGA emulation to provide a more accurate experience for people using actual carts for these systems. And that's a really important caveat when considering them, because if you don't have a large cart library to play from, they're probably not worth it. Now, the actual UI for these systems, look, it's fairly simple, it's fairly basic, but that's all okay. It makes it fairly simple to simply select, resolutions or scan lines if you like that kind of thing. I quite like their hybrid scan lines, but not everyone will. And the point, of course, is also that you're getting a fresh cartridge slot and you're getting HDMI connectivity. So you can say goodbye to those kind of horrible old days of component cables and wobbly video and all those kinds of problems. The thing is, they're not cheap. The systems themselves will run you about $190 plus shipping. And the shipping anywhere else in the world, it's really quick. It's nicely tracked. I've got no faults with that. But it's not cheap. You do pay a premium for it, for being so fast, for being so good, essentially speaking. So is it worth it? Well, look, the proof is in the pudding. I'm going to show off a few games here just so you get a better idea of what it's capable of. I really like what it does. It does a great job, and it's got me much more invigorated into a lot of these gaming systems. You also get a couple of included games with the Super NT. You get the full version of Super Turrican and Turrican 2. I'm really bad at those games, but they're perfectly fine. And you also get Ultracore, a never-released Megadrive, or if you must, Genesis game. It's kind of interesting that both systems get run-and-gun games as their bundle things. They're not really reasons, I think, why you would buy these systems to speak of. But there, again, I just return to that thing of, do you have carts to play on them? They're also multi-region, and the switching is pretty simple. So, for example, here I've plugged in my PAL copy of Gunstar Heroes. It wants to be on what it thinks is a PAL console. So all I have to do to change that is open up the menu, tell it, hey, this is a PAL system, do a quick software reset, and almost immediately I'm back in and I'm actually playing the game. It's just as simple as that. No more converters, no more plugging things into other things, which if you live through that era, you'll be all too familiar with. It's a really simple system and it just works. Of course, the elephant in the room here is emulation. Now, these are emulating after a style. They're hardware that makes those cartridges think that they're plugged into actual systems. But you could, of course, emulate on a PC or set up a RetroPie. There are countless other options to play these games. Most of them completely legal, of course, especially here in Australia where I'm recording this, where you don't even have the right to a backup copy of the software if you own the original card. It's just not the way our copyright law works, folks. Emulation, of course, is an interesting one as well, because the other thing that I think this does really well is it gets me to commit to a game. Putting a cartridge in, sure, there's a bit of a retro nostalgic vibe there, and that's kind of nice, but it also means I tend to commit to those games. So since having them, I've finished more games, I've played more games to completion, some of which I haven't played for decades, simply because I'm getting nice output, it's a nice way to play them, it all works well. Whereas with emulation, you do tend to fall into that trap of just deciding, oh, well, look, this is a bit hard, or, oh, God, there's thousands more games I should be playing, and you end up sort of either just sticking with the absolute established favourites, many of which are, of course, available super widely, or you just end up playing nothing at all. So are they worth buying at all? Well, look, if you've got an established library of games, and especially if you've got games that have been gathering dust on a shelf that you've been thinking about playing, then, yeah, I think they are. They're very nicely built, the hardware works well, but they do come at a fairly serious enthusiast kind of price. And of course, if all you wanted was a taste of that 16-bit world, then the established little mini Super NES or Mega Drive might be a better buy for you. But if you do have that large library of games, then they're well worth tracking down. So that's my take anyway. Are you an established Super NT or Mega SG owner? Got an opinion you'd like to share? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and of course, don't forget to hit like and subscribe.